Okay, here's our usual, waiting to make sure we are connected and ready to go.
I have a little chart I made.
Seems pretty good, but I'm not totally sure. A different window is popping up today. I'll tell you, the technology, I do believe we're live. I'm just not able to see all of the chat, everybody. So if anyone is tuning in, we're having some technical challenges on this end. So if you have questions, leave them in the chat. We just may not be able to answer you until after the live stream. I don't know why this happens sometimes, but sometimes what happens is when we go to the live stream, it goes to the previous live stream instead of the current live stream. And so I can't see the chat. So at any rate, here we are, Amalia and Madelaine, for this moon cycle. It is a Virgo full moon. It is the final full moon of the astrological year. The next time you see us will be the new moon in Aries, and it's going to be the start of a whole new astrological year, a whole new season. And it's so huge. And so to me, this feels like the new year versus January 1st. And if you think about it in terms of seasons and cycles, it's really awesome to be able to think about it in terms of, okay, in January, it's still very winter, things are barren and there's not as much in the way of new birth and that potential, where in March, when we're going into that March-April timetable, you start to feel the hints of spring, that hopefulness, that brightness, the weather's warming up a little bit. There's all this potential that is building. And the energy feels very different. People tend to get excited in the spring. There's a lot more vibrancy, I guess. Like even if you look in nature, things are becoming green again. There's flowers blooming, things like that. So it's a very different energy than what we've been in. And this final full moon, this Virgo full moon, is one that I can't wait to hear what Madelaine has to say about this moon. And there's a couple of aspects that we were talking about before we went live that she'll be talking about. But the one thing that really strikes me when I think about Virgo is practical, organized, perfectionist. And when it's a full moon, there might be some highlights or something shining down on us that highlights where maybe we're taking those things too far. Maybe we need to bring a little bit more practicality or organization into our lives. There may be some areas of our life that may activate how we engage, how we provide a service to the world, how we engage with the world. What is our worthiness in the world? How do we feel? And one other thing I thought was so cool, I read this somewhere recently. I wish I could remember where so I could give them credit for it. But they described Pisces as formless and Virgo as form. And I mean, it makes sense. We've got Pisces as a water sign, Virgo is an earth sign. The image I had of my mind was, we're creating this form in the earth and the water is flowing through it. And because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, it's almost like a clearing of the path for us so that we can start fresh and new in Aries. So that may not be an accurate description of this energy, but that's really the image that I saw of this time period for us right now. So I can feel an energy shift taking place. I know a lot of the people that I work with have also noticed that. Those of you listening may have noticed the shift that's taken place. And Madelaine's going to be sharing with us, I believe, how we can optimize this based on what's going on for us based on our sun, our moon, and our rising. If you don't know what those are, please go to you can go to astro.com, cafeastrology.com. Really just look up free natal chart, put in your birth time, your birthplace, and your birth date, and it will give you all the information you need. So you're looking for your sun, your moon, and your rising or ascendant sign, and listening into our forecast for each one of those. You'll get a really pretty good picture of what is coming up for you. So Madelaine,
Yeah.
let's get rolling. I'm so
Okay.
excited to hear what you have to say.
All right. I am going to share the screen, but let me get it up first because I got
Okay.
popped up in the way, I guess. All right. Let's go back to Zoom, share screen. Okay, so we're going to look at the chart of the moment. Here is the chart of the moment for the full moon. I'm not at the time because this program I can't do it, but I just go with the sun, which is it's at 16 degrees. This full moon is hitting at about 16 degrees. And what we're going to look at here is what else is going on at the same time as this full moon, because that is extremely interesting. Because this is, like you were saying, it is the Virgo Pisces axis in the chart, which is the quantum field. It is quantum science. It is the highest dimension, like you said, the least form into the most form. But really what we want to look at is practical, usable, applicable stuff in reality that actually really takes us forward, that actually works, that it's the molding of the two forces. It is the quantum field, which means it is anything is possible when you activate. One of the big lies that we grow into seeing, that we've been brainwashed lies, is that we are not powerful manifestors, but we are. We have the quantum field. This is what we're looking at, the quantum field of manifesting. So we're in this period when Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. It is literally the, like you were saying, the non-form with the form, but we're giving an opportunity here to really ground something that is non-formed. And then with Saturn in the sign of Pisces, what that means is we're minimal structure. Minimal. What is the minimal amount of structure we can do and create the most ethereal experience? It's like art. The arts, you're going to see this in the arts. Arts are going to be less material, more ethereal looking. But what is the minimal amount of structure you have to have for it to translate? I could get deep into this, boy. Quantum is the most powerful part of the chart, in my opinion, because we're waking up to our sovereignty. We are waking up to because of Pluto going into Aquarius, we're waking up into the power of the unseen forces. So last time Saturn went into the sign of Pisces was when the internet was invented, 92, 93, 94. That whole generation, by the way, Saturn, Pisces generation, are going to be very artistic, very musical. They were that millennial age group where they were very undisciplined. It was really hard. All the parents were going crazy because they were just like not working hard. And anyway, they're growing up now. They're the new Saturn return tribe. And they're the ones that are going to bring in a whole new reality, which is much more ethereal, less disciplined, less task mastery, more like you say, we are clearing karma, because whenever anything is in Pisces, it is at the end of that cycle. So we are coming to terms with barriers to what we want to ground, what we want our dream. So the fogginess of Neptune throws you out of restricted, limited thinking. That's what Neptune does. It's a reset of your brain. So like you were saying, when we get into this Pisces thing, we're letting go of karma, which is usually what we thought, which is usually processing. So we're like, we don't understand now. I cleared that karma. Now what do I think? I don't know. I'm not repeating those patterns anymore. So we're getting this blank slate in time for the Aries season, which is go time, new initiations, busy, which is happening now. So people are going to start feeling it soon, but it's going to get even stronger when the sun goes into Aries, and then the nodes are coming into Aries. So we're going full on here for a couple months. But this Virgo Pisces access, like you were saying, get your ducks in a row. Virgo's going to come along. It's already happening to me because I've got letters and things in my third house. This is in my third house. So I've got mail that I haven't dealt with. So I got to open mail up and deal with it. Third house, deal with stuff. So you're going to deal with something that has been, Pisces is a tendency to escape. So what we call this full moon is a blind spot full moon. So in other words, what did you neglect? What are you escaping? What are you escaping? That Pisces polarity. What are you turning your back on not dealing with because you don't know how to deal with it? It's overwhelming and you're confused. You get this blurred of confusing. So you turn your back on it. So Pisces, Virgo full moon comes and goes, hey, yo, get yourself on this and deal with it and take care of it.
There was a different way you wanted to present that and you were stopping yourself.
What was I going to say?
Get your shit together.
Yeah, get your shit together. Like, yeah, maybe my self-censoring popped in, but yeah, expect that possibly. So if you are running away from a responsibility, because Saturn being in Pisces, we are initiating a new chapter, a new paradigm, and we got to get our ducks in a row. We're clearing karma. We've cleared karma. By the way, if you do anything right now that creates more karma, watch it just slap you in the face, like right away, like boom, instant karma. So we're very aware consciously of patterns that created non-abundance in our life, the opposite of what we want. This is the fresh new beginning. So this full moon is going to be hard to talk about this presentation for everybody without also talking about the new moon in Aries, because it's at 0 degrees. I mean, it's insane. We've got Pluto at 29 degrees. Saturn currently is at 29 degrees, but it's about to go into 0 degrees Pisces, 29 degrees Aquarius. So it's like, holy manoli, everybody's lives, we're having a rebirth, a total rebirth, death and transformation, total new paradigm, beginning now, new paradigm. And it really is way more open-minded to the ethereal realm, the unseen forces, the power of the unseen. Virgo is medicine. Virgo is the medicine healer, becoming healthier. Pisces access, we're becoming awakened to the spiritual cause of our lack of health. The root of health issues is going to be somewhat spiritual on some level. We're making that connection because if we're waking up to our frequency, because it is our frequency that determines our manifesting. So in Virgo full moon, in time for this new cycle, this new paradigm, we're waking up to making sure that our energy frequencies were healed and our mind is in the right space. So
I want to just, if I can pause you
sure.
for 1 sec. So one thing I just wanted to chime in to for everyone that might be watching that may not have as, a broad astrological background. When Madelaine is talking about 0 degrees and 29 degrees, the reason that is so significant is because 29 degrees Aquarius that she was talking about, that's the end of Aquarius. When you go into, when you move into the next sign, that begins at 0 degrees. So anytime you have a planet that's at 29 degrees or 0 degrees, it's either at the end or the start of a particular energy of a zodiac sign. Yeah. Aries being the very first sign of the zodiac, the upcoming new moon in Aries, which is going to be in 2 weeks, is significant because not just because it's a new moon in the first sign of the zodiac, it's a new moon in the first sign of the zodiac at the starting degree, at the very, very beginning. So that's why Madelaine was really sharing so much about how significant a lot of these planetary placements are for this new start, this fresh start and new beginning that we're all moving into.
Yes. Now we have, the thing that's interesting about this whole year, because people might have expectations when you say this sort of thing, that something really all of a sudden, things are going to appear.
Oh, true. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah. If you think about 93, when the internet started, if you think about how it started, it was just a little teeny thing. I remember I had a little Mac computer. It was about this big. And, so it's like, we're really looking at the baby steps of this new paradigm. And, but we will see the shift in life, the way we're going to be living, because already today I saw, because Pluto and Aquarius is the air and the electricity, right? And Pluto is like really like the big transformation. And today on Facebook, I saw somebody with a motorcycle that was flying in the air. And like, seriously, it was for real. It wasn't like cartoon. So we're going to start seeing technologies, innovative technologies around electricities and air, and the other dimensions, which is medicine. We're going to really wake up to future medicine being around biofeedback, unseen, all the unseen energies. So Virgo, this 16, 15 degree point is also the same degree point of the next eclipse that we're having. It's all at these degree points in the mid-range degree, basically preparing us, because the eclipses force us into alignment really pretty much. So really letting go, because Scorpio, the South Node, is really letting go of attached things that were fear-based, that are holding us back from this whole new beginning when the nodes shift into Aries. So all those planets in Aries. So we're not even fully clear yet, because the Neptunian energy is not necessarily clear, but the journey is to Saturn and Pisces. When you have Saturn and Pisces in your birth chart, your job is to learn how to create clarity from the non-clear. Your job is to create structure from an unstructured. You were born with that so that you learn how to how to manifest the unmanifest. Usually musicians, a lot of musicians have Pisces. Almost every musician's chart I look at has Pisces and Saturn. That's why we're going to get a lot of art and music coming up, but it's going to be very ethereal, very non-structured in a way. But anyway, back to the Saturn Pisces. I lost my train of thought. Anyway.
Well, do you want to share? Do we want to just jump into maybe talking a little bit about the different signs and how?
Yes, here's what we need to talk about. Thank you. Let's focus in on the details about this particular full moon. I got distracted. Okay, good. Okay. So what we're going to look at is all the things that are happening at the same time. So if we look here, you're going to see Saturn.
Madelaine, I think we're seeing your email and not the chart anymore.
Thank you. Boom. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So Saturn right there you go. Saturn technically right now is at, okay, so this is March 7th. I'm on the March 7th date, which is the new moon. So look at Saturn, 0 degrees Pisces, boom. And then look at Pluto right there. We're very close to 0 degrees Aquarius, which will happen in about a few weeks. You have the sun at 17. It's actually technically going to be at 16 degrees. And then the moon will be at 16 degrees Virgo. So what we're looking at is a couple of squares. We do have a Mars. The moon later that day is going to square Mars, because Mars is at about 19 degrees, 21 degrees. So that's why for some people, this is how it works. So you get that full moon, nothing happens at that exact impact. But then when the moon moves on and squares Mars, if you have an aspect to that, it's going to then square Neptune, which is at about 22, 24 degrees. So as an individual in your own personal planet, you might get a challenging aspect around that. That's going to be tough. That moon squaring your Mars. So if you do have planets that are squaring Mars right now, you might find it to be challenging on some level, but it will spur you into action to pull your act together in some way. And moon is emotional, so there might be an emotional reaction to it. There might be an emotional reason you're avoiding doing something. You then have to take care of it and do it, and subvert or work through some sort of crisis. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. And, it is what it is. It needs to be taken care of. But the most important thing to look at is what we're looking at here in the chart at the same time, which is exciting, is I want to take the ascendant out, MC out. So, and we do have Jupiter is going to conjoin Chiron here very soon. Anyway, so what we have now is Venus sextiling Mars, Sun sextiling. So this full moon is sextiling Uranus. And that's the main thing, because so that's the main thing. And Venus is sextiling Mars at that point, and Jupiter is conjoining Chiron. So what is going to happen with that? So what that means is so something gets fixed. So in other words, it works out. So in other words, whatever you have to shift, Sun and Moon sextiling Uranus suddenly emancipates and releases you and frees you. So in other words, you've been avoiding something that you think is a problem, and now that you deal with it, it's not a problem. So I always like to look at, like, if you see an animal and it's stuck on a fence or something, and somebody comes and tries to free, and they spend all this time trying to get the horn out of the fence or something like that. And then finally they do it and the animal just runs off, and it's like sudden freedom, sudden release of something that's been snagged. So before you're set free from something, because Uranus is in the picture, which is liberating, you got to deal with something. You got to redo something. You got to fix it. But once you do, or once it shows up, and it may be minimal, it may not be a big deal, but as soon as you do, we get this freedom, we get this emancipation. Now we also have Mars squaring Neptune. This has been happening all year. This is the last time, by the way. So what does that mean? Arguments around religion, spiritualism, all this stuff. Basically, it's not, in my experience, it wasn't, well, I suppose some people could experience it on an aggressive level. There could be spiritual fighting or belief fights and arguments, but I think we've really learned a lot. Most people are opening up, because once you get these retrogrades happen first, then it went to retrograde, happened again, and now it's happening again. We've all learned a lesson, and we basically go, wow, that's your interesting way of seeing it, and I have another way of seeing it. Maybe there is a way we both match on seeing it. So, I wouldn't be too worried about Mars square Neptune, unless in the world it's possible it plays out as spiritual warfare somewhere or something, or, clashing of beliefs in a violent way. It can happen, as we know. But Sun, this full moon sextiling, what happens when the sun sextiles Uranus, the moon is going to trine Uranus. So somehow I happen to have my Mercury and my Pluto there. So that's going to be good for me. But if something's holding you back, that you haven't been taken care of, your blind spot, we really talk a lot about blind spots in Vedic. Your blind spot's going to come up for showing. And it just needs to happen because Saturn is leaving the sign of Aquarius, making sure you wrapped all, because it's been for 5 years in Capricorn and Aquarius, which is task mastery, hard work. So before it goes in there, before you get your reward, because that's what it gives you, what do you got to take care of? What's got to be done? And like you say, you mentioned self-esteem. A lot of times we run away from things that have to be done because we have low self-worth. We're not sure we're going to be able to do it. It's overwhelming. Am I good enough? Can I do it? Can I actually handle this? Can I take, and instead we just run away from it because we don't know if we can. So something's coming up. It could be about your health. We'll go through all the signs and we'll see. Something's coming up that needs to be taken care of. That's something you got to face, got to deal with, wrap it up, clean it up, clear it out. Virgo, purify something. Virgo is a pure energy. It's purifying an area so that we can now manifest a higher experience. So we're that's like in Virgo, when the moon is in Virgo, I clean out my entire apartment. I do my laundry. I go nuts. Because Virgo, we're busy. It's a busy energy. Don't forget, I forgot to mention that. So you're going to be busy, especially if it's in your third house like me. So we're cleaning the blackboard for the new page, for the new drawing, for the new. But again, we're keeping what no longer serves. We're letting go what no longer serves us in that Scorpio house, wherever you have Scorpio, the South nodes, letting go of some sort of a toxic attachment towards fear, survival. Can be friends, can be others, work that isn't good for you, or something that is more fear-based, we're letting go of. We're raising frequencies with this Pluto in Aquarius. It's higher vibrational. We are not bringing with us fear, survival. We're bringing with us in this new era knowledge, the return of the lost knowledge, which is that we have power to manifest by working with the unseen forces. Pluto in Aquarius, the electrical unseen forces. Saturn, Pisces, unseen forces, the heavens, the highest dimension. We're waking up spiritually to working with the unseen forces to materialize, rather than being all Capricorn, hard work, taskmaster. We've done a lot of that. We do need to do that. That's important. But then when we transfer into Pisces, the structure is pretty strong now that we've created, and now we get to relax around that structure and add the joy, add the art, add the creation spirit.
So let's dive into it, Madelaine. Let's see what Aries is going to be experiencing this upcoming full moon.
Yeah. Let's go for it. Let me get my little numbers up here so I can. Now, the shadow aspect of Pisces and Saturn would be control of the waters, government controlling waters, or possibly, you know, damming, you know, places that, you know, I mean, if we want to get shadow about it, but the problem is that it's not going to work because you can't contain water. So Pisces, Saturn, Pisces is not going to be able to, it's very soft. It can't really, if it plugs up a hole, another one opens up. So, okay, let's start. Hopefully that made sense. Okay. So are we ready? We're ready to go. You're ready with your cards? Okay, good. So for Aries, Pisces, of course, is in your 12th house. So Aries are definitely, Virgo is going to be in your 6th house. So that is the 6th, and you're going to have the North nodes in your own sign soon. So you're clearing up karma for a brand new beginning, and you're releasing toxic, because the 12th and 6th house is about waking up. Your Aries are probably going to quit alcohol, addictions. They're going to step more into health. They might quit smoking. They might quit any kind of indulgent behavior, escapist behavior, because they're going to have that full moon in Virgo in your 12th house, and the sun is going to be in your 6th house, which is going to highlight your non-health centered choices kind of pop up. You're going to realize there was a spiritual lack. So addiction is sourced in a feeling of lack, and it's really through spirit. Let's say alcohol was the spirit. You're trying to get spirit. So you're connecting more with spirit. So Aries are finding more of an escape route through truly connecting with the soul and their higher selves, rather than so much escapist, other physical means of escapism. And they're going to probably quit, because that full moon in Virgo is going to give them the power to quit something that will make them healthier. So that's pretty much it. Now with Virgo, now again, Virgo busy connecting to, basically, when you connect to the fact that you've been running away from something, and then you know how to not run away from it, and you know that you can fill your cup. In other words, because you're running away to get your cup filled. So when you realize that you can fill your cup spiritually, that there's a way to really fill your cup, you really are supported in letting things go that are not in alignment for you. So it's a good one for you guys. But a health issue could pop up that you have to quit. You could hit a bottom. That could, and Virgo over your 12th house is such a karma energy. It's basically you throw yourself under the bus through escaping responsibilities of taking care of the self. So Aries are going to start taking care of themselves. That's what we're going to see. Much better. All right. Is that good?
Okay.
One?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that the card that came out for Aries, it's similar to what you were talking about as far as like Aries energy in general, but it feels it's like a slightly different vibe. And so it's one, I mean, you think about Aries, you think red, fire.
Yeah.
Definitely got that going on. This activates momentum. And let's see, I'm trying to find a spot here where you can see it. Hold on. I don't think I'll be able to do it. I'll just say
something succulent.
It's a chandelier succulent. So it activates momentum, and the message is finish what you start. So the chandelier succulent inspires unwavering determination, momentum, and action so that we can attain completion. It helps us realize we have what it takes. And I feel like Aries already feel that way, but oh, you were getting ready to say something, Madelaine. What was your thought?
This is preparing for that stellium, because a chandelier brings to mind a stellium of planets in Aries, because we're having a stellium. So
there's three planets in Aries right now.
And then the sun is going to go there. And then we've got Chiron. Yeah. So sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm listening, but I just thought of that. But go
No,
ahead.
that's great. I no, that's awesome. That's awesome, because it's like this card kind of somewhat confused me based on what you were sharing about the energy of this full moon.
Yeah.
But it also reminds me, when you were talking about addictions too, it may be that Aries are aware of the addictions, but they don't know how to follow through on releasing whatever it is, or understanding whatever it is that's creating the escapist tendencies that are taking place. So, or it might be that they've thought about taking a break from alcohol or sugar, or stepping away from the, I'm trying to think of something, online gaming or whatever it is that they're doing that might not be totally supportive of them. And this may give them the boost that they need in order to do it, to finally follow through on that. So with these cards for each of the signs that we'll be talking about, just really being able to take in the flower itself. How does it make you feel? What are the colors that jump out at you? Is there some aspect of the flower that creates a feeling inside of you? What does that tell you? Is a memory coming up? Is something revealing itself to you in a way that this flower is activating it? And when you're looking at the flowers too, know that they each have an energy that's associated with them. And you can go to LOTUSWEI.com and learn a little bit more and find an elixir or a serum or a mist that's supportive for you right now if you want to take it that next level. But the chandelier succulent is the flower for Aries.
I think that works.
Yeah, for all signs. Yeah. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Taurus.
Taurus. All right. So you have one more eclipse in your sign, Taurus, on May 5th at 16 degrees. Like I say, that middle point, which is where we're really on the other side of something now, where we're really we've climbed a mountain and we're now headed down the mountain, or at least peaking. So for Taurans, you guys have Pisces over your 11th house and you have Virgo over your 5th house. So it's the 5th. So a friendship with Virgo over your 5th house, it's going to show up a friendship or a project. I would say you're going to see the right friendship. So in other words, because the full moon is going to illuminate something. So you're either going to see that a friendship is not good, or relationships, or a relationship turns into a more bigger relationship, and that you realize who your person is. I do a lot of card reads on people who don't seem to know who their person is. And I'm like, it's like somebody you know already, they're coming back. So that person may come back because it's in your 5th house. That's a full moon in your 5th house. Now, also, it could illuminate projects or situations that you need to deal with friends that haven't been dealt with if you're working with friends, or a creative project. So it may show up to begin a project with a friend, a creative project. You may become, oh, I do need to work with this person and write a creative writing project, or do some kind of a creative or it could just illuminate a creative project that you want to initiate, and the moon reveals what it is that you do really inspired and want to do, because that's a nice house, that's a fun house, a creative house. You may suddenly launch or a creative project you initiated on a new moon now comes to bear, now comes to fruition. And then with Pisces over your 11th house, the sun is going to illuminate who is your true friends group, who are true tribe, your true tribe. It could put you also, the sun could reveal to you on social media a way through which to show your project, or you start a new social media feed, because the 11th house is like the internet, the stage out in front of tribe. With a certain amount of confidence, you now bring forward in front of your tribe the sun illuminating your true tribe, who your tribe is that you're supposed to work with, that you're supposed to present, or your creative project is about your tribe, or is about Aquarian subjects, the 11th house. What else could I see about that? You're really letting go of toxic relationships, because you have Scorpio in your 7th house. So Virgo over your fifth house, you're letting go of critical friends that weren't really good friends, that were critical, that you're letting go of critical relationships that are critical. A lot of times Pisces, Virgo if you have Virgo in your fifth house, you might be slightly attracted to friends that are somewhat nitpicky and critical. You may you in your struggles of finding love, if somebody has been on that journey, you may have found friends and relationships that were picking at you, that were seeing what isn't good about you, and that kind of thing. So now you're shifting out of that. You're letting go of those kinds of friendships that don't support you, that don't have faith and belief, because your values, all our values are raising anyway, especially the feminine self-esteem value is raising up. So we're really at a place now where we won't tolerate distorting ourselves for relationships that aren't staying as who we really are. In other words, the 11th house is who you really are. It's your quirkiness. So in other words, you're stepping into being who you really are and letting everything else go. But also new friends, because the full moon in the fifth house, new friends group come in that liberate you, because it's trining Uranus, liberate you to perhaps exposure to a creative project that enables you to go forward. So a tribe, introducing a new tribe and a new friends group brings you into a new tribe, which catapults your purpose.
So I feel like with this Taurus full moon, there is a sense of, with this Virgo full moon in Taurus, there is a sense of some shifts and expansions when it comes to projects and related to the people that you're serving, or the people in your groups that might be supportive of whatever it is that you're doing.
Yep.
And this flower, the strawberry blossom, activates, let's see, no, you still can't see it. I'll have to just read it. So it's a strawberry blossom, and it activates optimism and expect the best. Now, with this, what I can speak to for myself, having a Taurus moon, is that this also dissolves the blindness to possibilities and opportunities. So if you think about the forecast that you just gave us, when it comes to social media, when it comes to friends groups, it's almost being able to recognize the opportunity when it's there. When that person in this one group invites you to share something, or you have an opportunity to post something on social media and you don't expect it to blow up the way it does, but it does, because you're now see that it's an opportunity for you, versus before, not so much. And so this flower, the strawberry blossom, is going to be really important. It feels like to me, as a Taurus moon myself, it's like you're focused in on this like the golden center, that one little, that nugget, that like golden opportunity that's waiting for you. Take it, realize that it's there for you, instead of, oh, I don't know, because remember, Virgo, it's about feeling like you're worthy, about being enough, and trusting that, and step into that more.
I want to throw in that sextile trine to Uranus that this full moon is doing. So prepare yourselves for surprising knowledge or information or communication,
opportunities, that may show up. Very cool, very cool. Okay, so moving on to Gemini.
And I really want to emphasize that this is an adaptive energy, because Virgo is adaptive. It's a mutable energy. So we're changing our minds, we're adapting to something. It's adapting. We need to adapt to something. So now I'm coming into Gemini, because Gemini is ruled by Virgo, which is a very mutable. So now we're getting mutable. This is going to square mutables, all mutables. These full moon will square you. What does that mean? It could be more likely of a crisis for you. However, you'll be fine, because we got these sextiles and these trines, so everything will end up being all right. But you may have to change course. So we have Virgo over your fourth house. You may decide you want to move. You may decide you want to start working at home. You may family. You may suddenly decide to move in with somebody, or somebody decides to move in with you. You could start a writing project at home. Pisces, 10th house, Sun. There's a spiritual element revealing, because Gemini, if they have Pisces in their 10th house, they really are here to align with a more cosmic force, to not be so micro, because Gemini's micro. So they really are the opposite of Sagittarius, which is the macro mind. So we're really seeing Gemini shift from micro to macro mind, and tapping more into the macro mind for career, and getting downloads and getting ideas and getting visions and moving on it, feeling inspired, shifting their career. They have Aries over their 11th house. So, that's tribe, new tribe, social media, getting out there, initiating projects on social media, initiating a new website or a new, shall we say, humanitarian cause. The 11th house is the humanitarian. So Gemini may step into becoming leaders for a humanitarian purpose, shifting their career to a more spiritually aligned motive, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's spiritual, maybe just cleaning up the environment. One of the things that we're going to start seeing is water. Saturn and water is pollution being cleaned up. So maybe Gemini step in and lead the war in their career, to be of service, because Virgo is being of service, to clean up the waters, to initiate a career that cleans up waters. Because really we're shifting in general to being of more guru, which means doing what we can do to make the world a better place, and what is it in our chart that supports us to do that. And for Gemini, they're opening their minds. They're going into a macro experience with this mutable full moon, opening their minds up to something more ethereal and more, shall we say, higher purpose and higher calling. Everybody will, to some degree, but I think with Gemini, it's going to be very directly with their career, because it's on the 10th house. And it also gives them more recognition. They get more status. The more spiritual a Gemini goes with their endeavors, the more recognition they get. And I know you're not motivated for recognition, but your MC, when you operate your MC, when you go towards the energy of your MC and you operate in that energy, I see this happen a lot to people. Their lives become the divinely intended experience that they were potentially able to experience here. It's like the height of your living experience, basically. That's a secret of heaven. Yeah.
I love what you're sharing about this, because this ties in so beautifully with this flower, the banana yucca.
Yay.
Yellow here.
That is Gemini color when I do my drawings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So this activates hidden potential, and the message is uncover your secret talents, which I think is very in alignment with what you were sharing. This also dissolves any insecurities around your capabilities and brings the hidden talents to the surface, enhancing your ability to make unexpected leaps, bounds towards your goals, which I would even go so far as to say that could relate to your career. So call in banana yucca, whether you look at the flower, whether you take it in an elixir or a mist, bring the flower in if you could purchase it. Really, for the Gemini, harness the energy of this flower as you go through this next 2-week moon cycle. Really cool.
With the sun and with the moon being there in your 4th house, you know, something shifting in it's that cardinal aspect, you know, it's the cardinal point. So we're looking at changes in your big shifts and changes. Good chance you move.
Mm-hmm. Home and career. They could be very well linked.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So Cancer.
Mercury, and this is a Mercury full moon. So you're ruled by this full moon. So we do see a significant shift in your lives, you know, for that. All right. Cancer. All right. Cancer, Virgo, 3rd house, busy, busy, busy. That's exactly what's happening. I haven't had a minute to breathe. It's like so much happening today and yesterday. And the funniest thing happened to me is this morning when I went to I do a talk at a center here, an astrology talk to people here in the local town. And right as I got up, I go, I knew I had this full moon in my 3rd house, which is papers, envelopes, taxes, just all that stuff that I've been hiding. I'm going to do them. It's not that I'm not going to do them. I'm going to do my taxes, but just all these envelopes and letters coming in that I haven't opened up because I just don't want to go there yet because my mind is so busy, right? So I'm escaping this, and I just know that's going to pop up in my face. But today, when I woke up, I go, I need to find somebody to help me with my taxes. I need tax help. And literally, I went to lunch with a tax guy. And at lunch, this guy goes, I'm going to help you with your taxes. I'm going to do trades with you. We're going to do, and I mean, I can pay him as well, but it was just like, what? It was like, there was that thing that I'm overwhelmed with the tax situation. I'm not quite sure how to deal because I'm selling my property. It's like, and then the solution came, snap. The guy's going to help.
I think that's a great story to share with people so they can see how it's not like you're out there seeking the answer. It's just, you have an awareness. Oh, this thing. Okay. going to take action. I'm going to deal with it. And then
something. Yep.
Poof, the answer appears for you. And I think that's one of the key pieces of why we even do these cosmic chats and why we share the information that we share, is that the answers are there and available to you. It's, are you open? Are you willing? Are you ready for the support that's ready for you?
Are you ready to really know and believe in your powers of manifesting? Do you believe? Because that's what the quantum field is all about. We have the power to manifest with that when you use the quantum field. And that's what this Pisces Virgo axis you're looking at. Rapid manifesting of something. We're accessing the quantum field. Focus in on what you want here. Desires. Aries is about, when we go into the Aries, is what do you desire? So you're making a connection with the quantum field and what you desire. Snap, manifesting.
So let's talk about what's going on with Cancer when it comes to this full moon.
Well, the third house. Yeah. So third house, you're busy, communication, website. You might start a website, but remember the full moon brings something into fruition that you've probably started about 6 months ago with the Virgo full new moon Virgo 6 months, 12 months ago. I'd have to do my math on that when it was. Probably about 6 months ago. So
the Virgo new moon was 6 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're something 6 months ago comes to material fruition. Full moon shows up. So let's say third house, well, let's say you started coming up with an idea, you started writing something or an idea for a website, and then third, you already started it. And now by this Virgo full moon, it launches, you're up, it's out, you're starting to use it, all that. So for Cancer, third house, very busy, small. You may have been starting a small business, and now it works. It starts working. It starts happening. Now with the sun in Pisces in your ninth house, that's really awesome to have Saturn in your ninth house, by the way. You're really, so for Cancer, they're becoming, shall we say, where's that? Pisces ninth house, Virgo third house. They're grounding, because we're doing that quantum field from the ninth to the third. So like, for instance, I'm doing workshops, spiritual workshops. The ninth house is teaching, traveling, higher philosophies. Interestingly enough, you may have a whole new shift in your belief, which interestingly enough, when that third house, ninth house really does change your beliefs, because I have Saturn there and the sun there right now. And I can't believe how my beliefs are changing about certain things. And it's interesting. I always think, oh, maybe I'm not going to believe in this as much, or maybe I'm not going to believe in tarot as much or something. And it's even worse. I believe in it even more. So I'm just like, I believe in this even stronger. So third house is your inner dialogue, your mind. You're becoming, Cancers are aware, because that's the thinking, micro, macro thinking. So Cancers are waking up to their powers of their mind and how they manifest and how they create blocks with what they think and what they believe. And bigger is their internal dialogue. Their internal dialogue of not believing, of not having faith in themselves. Cancer are learning to stand on their own 2 feet. Very strongly. So this Virgo full moon will reveal what you need to do to wrap up loose ends, get your papers in order, your stuff in order. But at the same time, there's a confidence and a new belief system that is going to launch you into a very confident place in your career, because you've got Aries over your 10th house of career. So you're becoming, and we've got Chiron there, which have been rattling up career for Cancer, insecurities around that and what you're doing. And now you're going to shift, and it's really happening to me, where you shift into a belief where you believe in it even stronger. You're like, oh my gosh, we need this even more. We need to work with the higher dimensions even more to change the world, because we can't change the world by going to the 3D, because the 3D, we're just turning it all around and around again. You got to go up to bring it down, to make it better. So it's like, Cancers are becoming much more empowered. They've got Jupiter squaring their ascendant, giving them a lot of energy, a lot of confidence. Aries over their 10th house career, they're launching, they're getting upgraded in their career cycle. Busy time for Cancer. Prepare ye for work busyness, paperwork busyness. Yeah.
So the card for Cancer is the chocolate daisy. And there you can see there's a lot of yellow in this, which I love because you were talking about that, about confidence. And this card, the chocolate daisy, also reminds us of simplicity. So it sounds like from what you were saying, it's like this sense of busyness, so many things to do, the higher learning of the 9th house, traveling, short distance travel, long distance travel. But there's also an energy around just simplifying how you're doing these things, simplifying, and in the understanding or the shift in belief, it's like it does simplify. You don't overcomplicate things for yourself. Everything does come into a clearer focus. And so the chocolate daisy will be very helpful for Cancerians in this process. And really, even when I look at this flower, it's like, okay, I can see, like, it just makes you feel like everything is in order, which again ties into that feeling of the Virgo energy for Cancer folks who are going to have all of these things going on in their life. Just create a system for yourself that's simple, that you can follow, and just knock the things out, and it will feel so much better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly also what I'm kind of doing, is minimalizing, getting rid of things. You might also, with that Virgo in the 4th house for Gemini, you may empty out your house of clutter, but yes, that's great. I'm such a minimalist now. I believe in minimalism because I can't concentrate with stuff, so interesting. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, so let's move on to Leo. I'm so excited to hear about Leo for my own personal selfish reasons.
Nice, because you guys have Virgo in the 2nd house. It's good. You have a full moon in your 2nd house. And the 2nd house is what you possess, your own possessions. But what I love about the 2nd house lunations is that it's what you possess inside of you that is of material resource. So you possess something you possess within you. And if you own land, it could be that you start farming, but I know you don't own land. So, but anyway, the point is that something you possess, you are able to turn into a financial resource, because that's what talent is. When you have a talent, you get on stage and you make money. So it's like it came out of you. The 8th house is from other people. It came from other people, a spouse or a bank or something. So a 2nd house lunation means you're going to become aware, you're going to reveal. Make sure I'm on the right house here. My Virgo over your 2nd? Yeah, Virgo over your 2nd. Something you possess. Now, remember, the full moon shows it comes to fruition. It pays off. It's already in motion to some degree, but now bears the fruit. So there's a talent, a skill, something you possess inside your psyche, body, talent, mind, soul, that will bear fruit for you to create abundance with. Now, attract abundance. Now, again, it may mean you have to, if I was to, surprising, like, because we've got that trine to Uranus. But if I was to also look at shadow, there might be a financial issue that comes up that you have to deal with that's a pain in the butt. Busyness, frustration. Virgo's frustrating energies. I mustn't leave that out. So there might be a frustration thing that comes in that motivates you, but an opportunity, a surprising opportunity around that. It's kind of hard for me to write that story, but getting your finance, maybe you discover, maybe you get your money in a row and you go through your taxes, because it's interesting because it is tax season coming up. So you discover that you have a big deduction, and you get to take a big tax deduction out of it as well. Or you suddenly realize that something you've been doing is a big part of your work and you can take a tax deduction. But we're basically seeing something shifting in your finance house that you can put more precision and detail and effort into, which you're going to have to, because that's what the full moon does. Reveals where you need to put some effort, cleaning up, organizing. But then at the same time, maybe it liberates you. You discover a big Huge tax deduction that you have out of your own resources that you're causing a tax deduction for yourself. Like I just discovered my road trip was, because I would talk to my tax guy, that my road trip is tax deductible. And that's like a lot of money now that I get to deduct. So,
Yay.
yay. So, so basically you're looking at deducting or sorry, you're just looking at a resource within your own possessions that becomes illuminated. That is a financial benefit flow surprise, because it's trining Uranus. And you have Pisces over your 8th house. There's something interesting. So the sun there, you may either be able to pay off a debt, you may eliminate a debt. Now also there is potential that someone passes and you're given an inheritance. What else? With the 8th house sun polarity going, you could become financially supported by a spouse. You could have, somebody could maybe quit a job because their spouse supports them, and then they start to develop a talent that they have, which then enables them to earn money down the line. But we're looking at a financial, their money, my money polarity liberating you, because this is trining, and then this frees you up. So let's say it's a debt. Somehow you discover a resource, discover a tax deduction or a resource or a talent or something you own that you can sell that pays off a debt. Could be that.
Well, and I think I love this because this ties in so beautifully with the fire star orchid. Again, I love these colors related to Leo when it comes to the fire, the sun, power. And this card activates wild creativity.
Oh.
And so everything that you're talking about feels very much creative. Think outside the box is the message. Yes. So for Leos, for myself, it's about thinking outside the box to create financial abundance, to reveal hidden talent or potential within myself that can be optimized, utilized for some sort of financial freedom in some way.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, when I look at people's charts and I see a planet in their 2nd house, they literally have a talent that makes money. But yes, that card was perfect. Says it better than me.
Well, I'm glad the flower was helpful.
I would love to know what this does for you.
I will report back. And I don't know. So I guess really the way I kind of receive this is that it won't necessarily be the next 2 weeks. Maybe I'll know in the next 2 weeks, but it might take a little bit longer for it to really show itself and be able to
bear
see.
them. Yeah, but don't forget we're bearing fruit too. So if something could show up. Yeah, an opportunity could show up and you suddenly have to start becoming creative. Too. And then your talents, you suddenly discover you have this talent. Wow, I'm doing it. It's coming out of me. I've got a creative ability here. So an opportunity could show up. Full moons do bring opportunities. So just so you know, be on the lookout.
I will be on the lookout.
It'll land on your lap probably. So if that's the case, but.
All right. I will report back to everyone, let you know what comes up. Okay. So Virgo. So we're talking Virgo, full moon. What's going on for the folks that have Virgo in their chart?
Yeah, that puts the sun in your 7th house of relationships, which is covered by Pisces. So we've got the sun there and you've got the moon in your 1st house. So if you're in the wrong relationship, Virgo, say bye to that, because it'll probably break apart, because with this full moon in your sign, you've got the power now. You're feeling abundant. A crisis could come into your relationships if they are not aligned for your highest good. But I'm going to say that Virgo are not tolerating any more out of aligned relationships. They have Capricorn over their 5th house. They've done a lot of work on relationships and letting go of toxic relationships. With the Pisces over the 7th house, there's karmic clearing of baggage around relationships, because you're Capricorn in your 5th. So you're really learning to stand on your own 2 feet. A lot of the signs, of very feminine signs, are doing that right now, because we're shifting to feminine energetic leads. So a lot of the feminines that come with feminine energy are really here to learn to stop being so leaning on a man. You don't need a man. Virgo, you're going to wake up. You do not need a man. And I'm seeing this. It's like the feminine is waking up. You do not need the man. You need God. You need your relationship with God. You are God, your higher self. So Virgo are woken up to the number one relationship is self. And I'm seeing this in the readings. I get a lot of really great cards for Virgo because they've really waken up to their own self as being primary relationships with, because we were brainwashed women, all us women out here, we were brainwashed, and this comes through the Virgo lineage. It's the feminine critical mind that criticizes women because they think that if you're not perfect, you can't hold on to a man. So the critical feminine steps in and tries to pick you apart so that you're now perfect enough to create security for yourself, because security can only be created through a man. So this is the paradigm the female energy has been brainwashed into. But really the feminine is the materializer, the master. She's got connected to the unseen forces, which is where the energy of lived life comes from. So the feminine is waking up to her being the one that the man needs. She's the one that is needed. Her power is to connect with the unseen forces. So Virgo receptors, healer feminines, shaman feminines are stepping into their self-esteem power. This full moon in Pisces is going to wake you up to your true divine partnership, what you deserve, your spiritual mate, your divine. You don't need to make relationships for your survival anymore. You have God in your 2 feet. You're good, Virgo. Walk forward strong, pull in your true divine mate. Divine will bring you. A lot of women are always seeking their relationship. If they're single, they think the most important thing right now is I not be single. I need to find my mate. Well, no. Walk your path, walk your Jupiter path, follow your calling. That's what's going to fill your cup. That's what's going to create your security, because that's what's fine. Your career, your relationship with your true career is what creates your security. You're walking with a higher self. So we need to re-brainwash women, Virgo women, especially, because the Virgo energy can throw themselves under the bus. They tends to be of high service, throwing themselves under the bus. Everybody's going to see how you throw yourself under the bus a little bit here, and that you need to not. So Virgo are not throwing themselves under the bus anymore. They have Aries over their 8th house, finances, bold action and movement around outside money, maybe getting funding to learn something. I know a lot of Virgo feminines who are starting courses to learn modalities to heal. This is a good time to start a course to learn something in your practice of a healing feminine. Most Virgo women are healer feminines. Or man, you can be a man that's a healing man that has the Virgo energy in. I know many men that are powerful healers. So Virgos basically are clearing their karma around attachment to their salvation being relationships. And they're stepping into knowing their source of salvation being their career, their selves, their own center. 2, 3, 4, I see.
Beautiful, because the Virgo card is the papaya flower. And you were talking about this a moment ago about receptivity and that balance of the masculine and the feminine. And this is what this card is all about. It activates receptivity, and the Virgo energy is very receptive, but it's also about balancing the receptivity and action, and no longer feeling like you have to take the back seat. So this really, really does. I feel like there's this power that Virgo men and women will be able to access in a completely different way, and something that they're not used to, because the other message is gentle is powerful. So it's not about power as in pushing or clutching or grabbing or striving. It's more about that gentleness of power. And to me, that is Virgo. Virgo is not like Virgo is powerful, but not in the way that it's in the feminine power, not a masculine power.
I'm so glad you bring this up, because in tarot, the Empress card, when somebody says to me, what do I do about this problem? And I pull the Empress card, like it's nothing. You just attract. You just attract. And what you want to do is just purify your energy in that theoretical waiting time, which is not what that is. What you're really doing is, in the meantime, you've made a calling for a higher dimensional reality that you want to manifest. So in the meantime, you go non-action and you just clear and you manifest and you raise your vibrations and you make sure you have sacred thoughts around that which you're wanting to materialize. So in other words, just do energy clearing, healing, and that raises your frequency, which then enables you to attract more. So the Virgo action is non-action. The action is to heal and raise your frequency in the meantime.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Libras.
Libra, let's take a look. Libra, you guys have Aries over your 7th house, and you have Pisces over your 6th house, which means you have Virgo over your 12th. So Virgo over your 12th house, a full moon in your 12th house, you're probably going to come into an awareness of how you've escaped being of use in the world. In other words, because Virgo is of service, so your karma is clearing. You're clearing some kind of a karma around being of service and understanding the purity of service. So in my opinion, Libras are going to see how they've escaped something about themselves which made them not be of service or block them from being of their highest. They're going to wake up to being of service, because Virgo over the 12th is spiritual. They're going to wake up to a calling, you could say, in a way. They're going to see a calling. And then they've got the sun in their 6th house. So that's work, that's day to day, that's also health. That's the same health access. So it's almost like waking up to being of service and realizing that they've lived a life out of alignment that's impacted their health, and that they haven't had a day, they haven't lived their life in a way that's of service to the world. I'm not saying Libras, all Libras are, we could look at this on a minor level to a higher level. So basically Libras are waking up to being of more service and less, because they have Aries over their 7th house. So there's a battle between selfishness, me, and the world, and in Libras and Aries, that access anyway. And they've got all these planets in their 7th house. So there's a good chance they're initiating new relationships of some sort. But they're letting go of a spiritual, they're really, again, same thing as Aries. They're letting go of addictions, but there's an escapist thing about knowing their soul. So there's sort of an awakening to a connection to their true self, because it's flipping. So it's like, it's a spiritual connection, a practical spiritual connection. Does that make any sense? So in other words, they're waking up to their spiritual connection, and that when they wake up to a spiritual connection, rather than escaping through addictions, because that's 6th house Pisces there, day-to-day escape, they're seeing how they can be of service.
So let me chime in with the flower. Let me chime in with the flower, because I feel like this will help anchor in what you're saying. So the flower for Libra is the passion flower, and this activates healing, sleep, and the message is rest more. I equate that to healing in the 6th house, which you were talking about. And so once you're able to activate the sense of healing within yourself, that will then activate these spiritual connections, because this flower also magnifies, literally, it says on here, spiritual connections, which is the word, literally the words that you were using, Madelaine. So this card magnifies the ability to let go, relax, rest, sleep soundly. It's a deep calm and a peace and a steadiness. Opens up your awareness, your intuition. So if I were to translate what you were saying and bring in what this card is supporting, is that Librans, for you, it's relax. Just relax. If you allow those spiritual connections to appear, trust your intuition. And that's 12th house. That's all of what Madelaine was talking about. And you will start to see your health, your day-to-day activities, those things that are very 6th house oriented, work themselves out. And so there may be some struggle in that that you've been experiencing, but now's the time that that will start to unravel and unwind in the best way possible.
Wow, this is so interesting, because when I do readings for Libras on the whole, they tend to be the one sign, not all, but they depends what else is going on in their chart, but they tend to be the one sign that is most in head and not aware of heart. So that's interesting. So this full moon, basically what you're saying is they become very much more aware of what they truly want, their soul wants, their heart wants, and less mind, less head. So they may change their mind, because remember, we're mutable, we're adapting, we're changing. So they may suddenly have an aha and change their mind about relationships, because that's seventh house axis with Aries there. Very interesting. Yes.
It is. Yeah. There's so many cool points that were connected. Scorpio.
Scorpio, you guys have the South Node on your ascendant there. So you're you're going through a releasing of an identity, death and transformation of the old you to a new you, whole new chapters, whole new beginnings. You're ruled by Mars. So you're going to have Aries and Pluto, by the way. So you're going to have Aries in your 6th house, and Pisces will be Pisces is in your 5th, and Virgo in your 11th. So we're looking at that friendships and tribe, big tribe, the stage, the macro, the audience, the stage, king, kingdom, Leo, Aquarius access here in the 5th and the 11th houses. So we're looking at new friends, new tribe, the revelation as to who your true tribe is, who you're letting go of toxic, everything in your life that's toxic. So you're waking up to what is your true tribe, your friends that are right for you. Your sun is in Pisces, so in your 5th house, revealing potentially friends that are tribes, potentially that is a tribe, because you have the moon. Wait, your 5th house is Pisces, right? I have to keep looking at this. 5th house is Pisces, 11th house is Virgo. Yeah. So perhaps actually you get involved with a new tribe of friends and you create projects with them, or you go online, or you start a new website or a new social media platform and you connect with a new tribe. Your social media platform could suddenly take off. If you have a social media site, it could suddenly do really well. That's the other thing I should mention about a full moon in the 11th house. And remember, we've got this trining to Uranus, so a sudden surprising upgrade in your 11th house. Let's say you suddenly do better on social media, or with that Virgo energy there, you become really clear of what you have to do or fix or change or detail or you have to do work around stuff like that. That's important. Like dealing with the internet, dealing with, maybe you have to get automatic payments online or something. I mean, but we're dealing with a lot of stuff going online and internet with the 11th house, but also potentially a creative project comes in, which you take online and you expose, or you work with media or tribe. What else could I think of? Definitely potentially new relationships, right? New friendships with that 5th house, Scorpio, new that are divine friendships, Pisces there, your spiritual soulmates. You could meet a soulmate. Not necessarily a romantic, but it could be a friendship, soulmate, or romantic. A friendship turns into serious. It is your true person. A friend from the past comes back, becomes a lover. Somebody you know in your tribe then becomes your person. What'd you see? What'd you get there?
So I love this, because as a Scorpio ascendant myself, I can relate to all of this.
Okay.
And what I have noticed for myself is that I have had to shift. So this card is the Gardenia, and this speaks about shifting your perception. And that's what I've had to do. I've had to shift my perception of social media specifically, and how I engage on it. What do I need to do? And the message is transform your weaknesses into strengths. And that's something.
Let's say that again.
Transform your weaknesses into strengths. So what I would perceive as my weakness is when I'm posting things and when I'm sharing things on social media, am I doing it because I feel like I have to show up because I promised to show up, or am I showing up because I actually have something really magical to share? And just this past week, I did not share on Wednesdays, which I normally do, because I wasn't inspired to share anything. And I decided I'm not just phoning it in because this is an expectation.
Mhm.
So this to me lines up very much with,
Okay,
with
good.
that.
Great, because I
Yeah.
was struggling. I was like,
Yeah.
how do I do this one? Okay, good. Okay, good. That works. That works. Great.
Yeah, I really feel like, so yeah, for folks who have Scorpio in their chart too, it's there is the potential for you for success, but you have to shift your perception of how you're showing up, and maybe shift your perception of what success is, because that's the other thing. I had to tune into my why. Why am I showing up on social media? What do I want? Do I want followers? Do I want engagement? Do I want people signing up for something? Do I want to make sales? Do I want to make an impact? Like, what is that? And so if you have Scorpio in your chart, and it doesn't, this is about friends, creative projects. It's not
so interesting, because it's really interesting that you're saying all of this with a Virgo full moon. You want me to answer your question?
Yeah, go. Let's hear it.
Be of service.
There you go. Right. To be of service.
That's what this full moon will do. It will clarify how it is that you can really be of service and crystalline, because Pisces is a Christ-line crystalline energy, which is to materialize the higher vision. So you're going to have a higher vision as to being of service. You're going to wake up to the spiritual, you're of spiritual service.
So let's just flow with this for a moment. Because the question is, when it comes to, for a lot of people out there, I don't think I'm the only one, when it comes to being of service, no problem, happy to do that. However, I also have bills to pay. I also have things that I need to purchase. And so being of service, it's great. So
if I was reading your chart right now, I would tell you, look at that second house. Look at your second house, something you possess, something you have innately in your talent pool that you can mix in with this, that you're thinking. A creative solution is coming in here that will absolutely be financially boost. That's right. You have to make a material, practical thing. Now, the reason, this is the point, is it's all about you getting a modality.
Well,
something like that, or talent, or something that you possess, you're going to become very clear on. That is a talent. That is where you're supposed to source resource.
So if somebody, okay, so if people are, the folks that are watching this right now, and and this is not just for Scorpio, this is for anybody, any sign. So we're not sticking specifically with Scorpio. So look at your chart, look at your natal chart, and see what your second house, and they're looking at the second house at the sign and what planets might be there. Correct, Madelaine? Okay. So I'm going to use myself as an example so we can illustrate this. So for me, and I'll show.
Yeah. What have you got in your second house?
Let's see if it's not showing up very well. So in the second house, I have Jupiter. Which is great. But I also have Neptune.
What degree is your Jupiter?
29. So it's a little far. It's outside. And my Neptune is also there, but that's at 2. So this full moon is in the middle. It's at 16 degrees. So my planets that are there are a little out. They're outside of the the orb.
You have Neptune and Jupiter in your second house. So, and that's in a Virgo receptive sign. So Jupiter, Virgo, you're supposed to, Jupiter, Neptune, you're supposed to energetically heal people. You're kind of, those are shaman type feminine energies. So you have a talent inside of you. You possess the ability to heal and transform people's energies, and you can make money at it, because the second house, you have a talent. You're talented. You possess the ability to transform. And that's your second house. That's where your Jupiter is. You see, this is very important. It's very important that you understand this, because you have Jupiter in the second house. Jupiter, where your Jupiter placement is a very strong indicator, is where you are here to be a guru. That is where everybody is a planted potential seedling, podling to be the guru that saves the earth. Everybody's has the potential. So it's where Jupiter is in your chart. So if you want to know where your gift is and what fills your cup, read about your Jupiter in what house and in what sign. And if you have Jupiter in the second house, you are very much a creative. You have a creative ability because it's a Venus house, it's a Taurus house. So it's a financial house. So through Virgo is healing, medicine, day-to-day practices, spiritual practices. You either take people, you have what you either come up with a creative modality for spiritual day-to-day practices, and you take people on a day-to-day spiritual practice modality and you get paid for that. Maybe you are somebody who actually is supposed to day-to-day, because Virgo's day-to-day practice is what we do on a day-to-day that determines our health and our success and our wealth. So something you start to do, a talent that you do on a day-to-day level, you discover is a modality that helps other people and that you can actually either sell it. You could probably sell a healing modality and people come to you for this. You literally have the capacity to energy shift people's energies from either your hand or body. But we're talking about a woman, a person who has access to shifting energies in order to make money.
Which is what I do already. For my career. So so all of that lines up, and we're illustrating this for all of you that are watching this so that you can see where in your chart what is going on so that you can optimize and activate maybe a hidden innate talent within you that you didn't realize.
And I don't think you're fully awakened to your innate talent, because Jupiter in the second house in Virgo, that is powerful healer medicine, powerful person, powerful. You would be an intuitive, because you have Neptune there. There's a good chance you're an intuitive medicine person. You would be able to locate what made someone sick. You'd be able to, I went to see a psychic about 3 weeks ago, and she told me to take adrenal support. And I have been struggling with some things in my health, and I can't tell you right away, snap, that fixed my problem. She just intuitively tapped into what I needed. So if you have Neptune in Virgo, that's the psychic.
Well, I don't have Neptune in Virgo. I have Neptune in Sag.
Oh, it's on the other side of that. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I have Neptune and Jupiter both in Sag.
Okay.
Not
so
in
Virgo. What do you have in Virgo?
What do I have in Virgo?
I thought you had. Oh, okay. Okay. So
I don't have anything in Virgo.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, if anybody has planets in Virgo okay. So, okay. I thought you said they were in Virgo in your second house. Okay. So that changes things.
Sag.
So your Jupiter is in your third house. So then that means, and you have Neptune and Jupiter in your third house?
Second.
Isn't Virgo over your second house?
No, Virgo is over my 11th.
Ah, that's where we're going to get Pisces over your second. Wait a minute. Where are we going with your ascendant? What is your ascendant? Remind me.
Scorpio.
Okay. Scorpio. Oh, Sagittarius. Okay.
Yes.
Hopefully the other thing I said help other people with those placements, but I see.
But here's the thing though, is that, and this is the beauty of this conversation, is that astrology, as well as a lot soul contracts that I do and human design and gene keys, there's all these ways that you can highlight and pinpoint what's going on in your life and what your talents are. Because in my gene keys profile, now I don't want to confuse people too much about this, but the medicine woman is part of that. It is the energy of the healer. So I have it, I carry it. It's just not showing up exactly how you described it, but it is innate within me.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you have Jupiter in the second house, it doesn't necessarily matter the sign, because Jupiter is the guru. What you're here to do as a guru, and the house is very powerful. So your money house, how you earn money and your calling, a lot of people's callings involve earning money, but but basically you possess a talent, you possess a skill. It's in you. Because if you were a musician, you're the musician. You would make the money as a musician. So it's something you possess, and your Jupiter is there. And the second house is arts and creativity. So, and now is your Neptune there too in your second house? Okay, yeah. So see, because your Neptune is super psychic. So you've got your Neptune and your Jupiter together, which is an intuitive ability. to connect to your calling. There's some kind of a calling there that also involves intuitive knowledge. So you're going to be using your intuitive abilities to create, to work your guru. So because your Neptune's right next to your Jupiter. So these two planets go together. So you're a psychic, intuitive healer of some sort. Or if you were an actor and you had those two planets together, you would be an intuitive ad liber. But your Jupiter's there. So you're an intuitive connected something around your Jupiter in your second house. Jupiter.
I'm not a very good ad libber, so that definitely does not describe me. I do not think
we could say channel. We could just say channel.
Yeah.
So you just receive it from outside, and then it comes out of you, and it makes you money. It is your resource.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we took a little bit of a detour.
Yeah, that's fine.
But all right, so let's go to Sag now and see what's going on.
Okay, so Sagittarius have Pisces over their fourth house. They're most likely moving. A lot of Sagittarians I know are moving. So Pisces over your fourth house. The sun is Pisces, illuminating the need to change your home. But Virgo up there in your 10th house, brand new career beginnings. Possible very busy career work time for Sagittarians, which is great. I know some Sagittarians that are going to be happy to hear that. Busy work, possibly making you shift and move location or house, or an upgrade in your career, enabling you to upgrade your living situation, changing your house situation. Sagittarians there with Pisces for Virgo. I'm sorry. Yes, Sagittarius. Virgo 10th. Nice. Surprise upgrade career, surprise opportunity with career. If it squares any of your other cardinal houses, shifting relationships or shifting who you become. This is cardinal accessing, as it were. It's a mutable sign. You're ruled by mutable. You're mutable, change of mind, changing ideas, changing place of living, changing career, changing or you something about your work, you got to take care of some kind of detail, some kind of paperwork, some kind of precision stuff you haven't taken care of. It creates a crisis. You're backed up. You shouldn't have done it. Or you shouldn't have dropped that ball. You got to go back and fix it, take care of it. And it's shifting your family situation. I know a Sagittarian who has to do paperwork to get divorced, and then it's causing a divorce. So even though they're moved, they're not living together, it's ending their relationship. That's kind of like ending a family. So it sort of terminates that family, opening it up for new family, and actually opening up, potentially liberating you to make moves and changes. Maybe you get divorced and now you can move country or move state. And so now you're in a better situation for career. Maybe you were tied to a situation or tied to living in a situation that was confining your work, you felt trapped. Most, I would say Sagittarians have felt sort of trapped in a living situation, but now Saturn moving into Pisces, shall we say, is a restructuring of your living home situation, restructuring of your living family. Aries for Sagittarians is in your 5th house, new relationships, new creative projects. The Sagittarian I'm thinking of is having a big flare up in a creative project. They're doing very well. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of everything. Oh, wait, we're looking at Sagittarians. We're looking at 4th and 10th. So living situation, career, wrapping up old, it's very taxi energy. Is again, career, money, taxes with your work. Maybe you get a rebate, enables you to upgrade your house, all that.
So this energy around Sag feels very busy. Feels like there's a lot going on, but it's all changing things for the better. To create some openings in life. So the card or the flower is the Brugmansia, and it activates ease. The message is let go and let loose. And so when I was hearing you talking about all of the things that could be going on in a Sagittarian's life, all of these different areas of their life that could be activated and changes could take place. It's just leaning into a little bit of ease, realizing like some things that you might be holding on to, it's time to let go of those.
Yeah.
Just try to loosen up as best you can and just allow things to flow a bit more, and you will see how it all plays out exactly the way it's meant to.
Yeah, because remember, Sagittarius is mutable. I just wanted to throw that in there, which again is mind changing, shifting, adapting. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think that totally goes along with this too. It's just like having some ease in the fact that things might be changing. Let go of something and then see how that feels. And then, oh, maybe I need to shift a little bit. Let go of that after a while if that doesn't feel good to you. So let me see what else it's got here. Helps us loosen our tight grip a bit, inspiring a deep experience of calm as a result, and the ability to ask for help and to create a community of support and assimilation for change and growth. So what you were talking about.
Fourth house, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of community growth, changing where you live. That could be a change of community.
Yeah.
Changing where you work, again, change of community. So
yes,
there we go.
If you move, if you move state, you have a whole new community of people,
Yeah.
Okay, so Sagittarius, prepare you. You're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in Aries. So your ruling planet is initiating brand new beginnings for you. I'm Saggy too, so that's great.
Yay! All right. Capricorn.
Capricorn, it is time to celebrate and sing songs of praise and joy. Your ruling planet is no longer in jail. It's been in its, Capricorn are ruled by Saturn. So theoretically, with Saturn in its own Saturn signs of Aquarius and Capricorn for the last 5 years, you would think is good for Capricorns, but all the Capricorns I know have gone through hell. Yes. Total hell. So I'm saying this is now a freedom of the hell, and you have now learned some lessons. You've matured. You will have grown up. I have a bunch of planets in Capricorn, and I have for sure matured in some areas of my life that needed maturing, no doubt about it. So Capricorn, you guys are sail on the waters of sailing free, of joy and fun, and enjoying the fruits of all your karmic clearing that you've done. And actually, I'm not the only one astrologer. I was listening to another astrologer who was talking about Capricorn, things going so much better for Capricorns now. So I'm remembering that too as I'm speaking. But it really is this full moon for you guys is happening in, where does Virgo happen for Capricorn? Pisces is your third house, and Virgo is going to be your ninth house, right? So Virgo in your ninth house. Oh, new belief systems, Capricorn, you rigid-minded people, you. No, I'm kidding. Just teasing. But, their belief systems are shifting. With that Pisces in their third house, that's busyness. The sun is revealing paperwork, things you got to take care of, communications, things you got to sign, things you got to do. Ninth house, where's Virgo? I get confused. Virgo is third house. You
said Virgo ninth, Pisces third.
Pisces is third house. Virgo is ninth house. So the moon is going to reveal emotional. You see, here's what's going to happen for Capricorn. They're going to have a big wake up because they survived. They survived the hell, and they're going to realize it was spiritualism that it's a miracle, because the ninth house is kind of spiritual. It's a miracle. It's good luck. By the way, that is a good luck position. I realize that Capricorn, to have Virgo full moon in your ninth house, you could travel, but it's also good luck. A good luck opportunity appears. Short distance travel with the sun in your third house, an opportunity that liberates you. So, and where is, by the way, Taurus for Capricorn, liberating Taurus. I would like this to happen, actually. Creative projects, Capricorn, that are involved in creative projects involving that could be trined in this, liberating you. Capricorn are liberated, definitely liberated, because their planets trine Uranus. So Capricorn trines Uranus, and Virgo trines Uranus. So this is an earth trine for Capricorn. This could be good money. could be a windfall, could be a very good end of a struggle, and you step into a financial state of peace and relief. And also stability. Saturn is a stable planet, stabilizing something that was not so stable. Watery is not so stable. We're coming into a more stabilized, unstable, things that felt unstable now feel stable, more so. For Capricorn, I say you're out of the woods. I think you've done a lot of hard work, a lot of karma clearing. I think you've paid heavily, paid heavily for it. No, but it hasn't been easy. And the easy time, I think, is here for Capricorn. I think for everybody, really, but I think Capricorns are going to be out of that chute, and it's going to feel like, here, what'd you get? I'm excited to see.
I love it. So this is the bird foot lotus. And this activates contentment. The message is take charge. It dissolves anxiety. I got to move it here. Anxiety, worry, fear, seriousness, and magnifies happiness, lightness, cheerfulness. So this, to me, totally lines up with what you're saying, where it's like, now, okay, you have a sense of contentment. It is, you still have to do stuff. You're Capricorns. You're still going to have stuff to do.
You got to tell Capricorn not to do stuff.
So that's all good, but just, you can actually feel that sense of contentment now.
And Virgo and busyness too. Yes. So, but that was great. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Aquarius.
So here we go. Aquarius. Wowee. Let's see what's going on with those
Aquarians are interesting. The same sort of story, because Saturn, they're ruled by Saturn, and it's leaving their sign, leaving their ascendant, going into their second house. Saturn, Pisces over your second house. Am I right? Yes. Pisces over the second house, Virgo over their eighth. So this is the money, their money, our money, my possessions. So Aquarians, with Saturn moving into your second house, you're going to become illuminated. The sun is in your eighth. I'm sorry, other way around. Moon is in your eighth. Sun is in your second. You realize an innate ability, talent you possess. Full moon in your eighth house, you either eliminate a debt, or somebody passes away and you get a financial inheritance, or you get tax rebate, or you refinance a property. Because what do you have over your eighth house? You have Virgo. So a way out of debt, shall we say, or finances from an outside source liberate you to, and then we've got the sun in your second house of Pisces, illuminating a talent or an ability or a creative skill. If you have planets there, for sure, a way for you to utilize your own income, but also possession you possess. You could sell something, like, let's say you own land and you decide to sell land, and it liberates, you get funding from that land and you're liberated financially for it. But we're looking at financial liberation for Aquarians with Saturn there. But again, it's possible that they pull money from another source, enabling them to develop a talent or another ability or modality or something that you have as you possess as your own resource that you could earn money from. And the sun is going to illuminate that, and the download, psychic, spiritual, a way to make money spiritually, or that's in line with your soul, or that's your calling. But you possess an ability, you're going to see it. Aquarius, Virgo, eighth house. So the moon's going to be full in your eighth house, illuminating a financial situation or way that or a way you can be relieved of a financial stuck situation. Like, let's say you invested in a house and it's not making you any money. You sell it, you're liberated out of that debt, that burden. You're liberated of the debt, and now you're freed up to focus more, and you could put that money more into your own career, your own thing, something like that. And then we are talking about beliefs. Aquarians having mind opening thing going on with that Virgo over you're going to wake up to a belief system that is more serving of you. That's your own because Virgo, and also you may see that you need to be of service. You may wake up to your calling to step into service. You may believe that you want to start being of more service, and that you possess something that you can actually use to be of service with. So let's see, any good cards come out. I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Oh, sorry. I
thought that was
mute my
me.
mic. No,
Okay.
I mute my mic when I'm shuffling, so it's not interfering with sound. So, so thank you for telling me. So what's interesting is the cards were super sticky for Aquarius, and they were really not cooperating. And so what I interpret that to mean, and then the story that I make up about that is that there might be some Aquarians who are making it harder for themselves than they need to. That there are situations in their life where they are maybe keeping themselves stuck in that same story that they've been telling themselves for a long time. I mean, remember, Aquarians, you're this bigger mind, this higher thinking kind of people. If you're getting caught in the small mind, in the small thinking, you're going to feel that. So the card that came up for Aquarians was the dandelion. And what I love about the dandelion is it's one of those flowers that transforms over time. You know, you have the flowers, but then you also have like the puffy dandelions that have the little, you can make a wish, you have all sorts of opportunities, you have all these chances to plant a seed, to create something new. And I feel like Aquarians, that's what they're here to do. They're here to create something new. And so this flower dissolves tension. It reminds them to relax. It also, and I have to put it over here in the light because I can't see now. It's getting dark here where I am. This also has to do with an awareness of their body. So I know this wasn't sixth house. This wasn't a sixth house thing.
Well,
but
Virgo all the way across for everybody's going to be health stuff. So that's sixth house.
Well, so there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for them, it definitely paying attention to any tension that you might have in your body, relaxing any tension in your neck and your shoulders, this whole area here. And again, when it comes to Aquarians, there's a lot of activity going on in their head. So if you can relax this, it's like your neck and your shoulders, it's that flow that you allow to happen a little bit more succinctly, smoothly. Aquarius isn't connected to your neck and shoulders, but there is that mental energy, that mental activity too. So yeah, dandelion.
Got that flow. That's how you connect to that higher dimensional Pisces energies, is just let that flow in and relax. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, and we're rounding it out here with Pisces.
All right, so you guys have Saturn coming into your side for the next 2.5 to 3 years. So you guys are maturing, you're taking on responsibility, you're going to be working hard, you're going to be the boss, you know, you're going to be upgraded. Your career obviously is going to be very focused, number one thing. It's going to be possibly challenging for Pisces because they tend to be the least structured of people. So I would say, though, it's supportive of you becoming more structured. I would think Pisces become more capable of becoming more structured. I think they're going to find themselves quite impressed with themselves, actually, at the ability that they suddenly have to be disciplined and grounded and doing things and really, really grounding a new cycle for themselves, a new foundation for their career. This is going to be a career 2.5 to 3 years, very career centered. So this full moon is opening, we've got the moon in your 7th house. And so we're going to illuminate problems in relationships. If you're I know a lot of Pisces who tend to get into relationships with people that are critical and pick them apart. And if you're in such a relationship, that relationship will either fall apart if it's not your true destined relationship, or you set a boundary because you've listened to this report and you're now setting boundaries on your relationships and you're not letting them treat you that way and critical and be picky apart you. And you say, no, that's not okay. No longer you are able to, I'm not allowing you to do that. And I now hold myself in high regard, much higher regard. And I reflect that now in my relationships. That's going to start shifting for you. because Saturn putting into your first house is going to make you quite confident and strong and grounded, and you're not going to tolerate that. I would think. So Pisces in your first house, you're going to wake up to your spiritual calling. You're very connected. Most Pisces are musicians. Most Pisces are artists. They're creatives. They are channelers. They have very high, it's the highest dimension Pisces. So they have very high access. It's oftentimes you hear people saying to Pisces, earth to so-and-so, earth to so-and-so, hello, yo, back down, you know. So Pisces, they're going to bridge that two world. It's going to be easier for them for a change. What else can we say to Pisces with this full moon here? Change of relationship. You'll walk it alone if you have to, but you're not going to allow yourself to be you're not going to throw yourself under the bus for relationships anymore. And you're going to, shall we say, walk the path alone, must you, in order to walk more, be honored if you have to, or the relationship you're in shifts, or you meet your person, full moon, the person shows up. You've done the work, you've done the self-healing work, and now you love yourself. Let's see the card. I'm excited. I saw the card pop up. I want to know.
I know, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
This card literally flew out of the deck, like across. So I don't know if anyone saw me like have to lean down. So this is called Trumpet Vine. And Trumpet Vine is it has to do with your voice. So what I found so interesting is you were talking about Pisces, they're going to have to speak to the boundaries. They're not going to tolerate certain things anymore, that they're going to be okay with walking the path alone. So this basically activates effortless speech, freeing your voice. And that relates directly to saying what's okay and not okay for you. Yeah. You also connected it with artists, and this could also relate to singing. So if you're a musical artist, you're freeing your voice in that way. And also effortless communication for difficult conversations. So I think anytime you are creating a boundary or you're voicing those deep inner feelings within yourself, that can be challenging oftentimes. So this is a very supportive in your ability to do that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm a Pisces moon. I forgot that I was a Pisces moon. I have Saturn on my moon right now. I have a Pisces 1-degree moon. Saturn is like at 29 degrees. So it's like interesting. And I am feeling a real inspiration to be creative again. So Pisces are going to start wanting to feel creative. And that is a resource within you. So interesting flower for Pisces. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Pisces are here to learn to set boundaries. Water signs ascendant are usually here to set boundaries because they just if you see water just flows. So they tend to sort of, and especially with that Virgo energy, that Virgo moon is where you throw yourself under the bus, to distort yourself, to hold on to things or people, places and things. So that is a Pisces thing, will no longer be doing that. That Virgo reveals to them what relationships they're throwing under the bus for. Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, it is.
And Virgo is ruled by Mercury. It's all about communication, everybody, and your internal thinking.
So this is a power packed. I mean, all of them are power packed, but this one in particular is a power packed moon, simply because we're closing out this cycle, this astrological year, and having the foundation set for starting a new one, having the clarity, having the completion, having the fruits of the labor of the year revealed to us, and the areas where we need to tweak and fine tune a little going into the upcoming year.
That structure that Saturn has been in the last 5 years is the structure we created now that supports the rest of our journey here. That Aries is now, we're going to fill it up. Just to wrap
No pressure, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more easy. It's the coloring in part. You know, when you've done that drawing and you got everything right and it's perfect, now we can color it in.
That is the fun part, actually. That really is. Yeah. But then but you know, you want it to be pretty and you want it to be how you like it. And so hopefully this helps, folks. We went deep today, and we gave, Madelaine gave a lot of awesome information, and really good insights about the whole spectrum at the beginning. So if you missed that, do go back and try to catch some of that. The cards were super powerful today and aligned so beautifully with the energies of each of the signs. So those are another place that you can reach for and tune into if you're looking for some support. Obviously, Madelaine and I are here to answer any questions that come up. You can drop them in the comments. You can catch us on social. All of our details are below. And obviously, if you want a reading and a little bit more personal support, reach out to Madelaine. If you'd like to take a deep dive into some other spiritual sciences and different aspects of seeing yourself through other lenses, reach out to me. Madelaine, is there anything else you want to share before we sign off?
I do a mailing list now every week. So if you want to be on my mailing list, message your email or message me your email and I'll put you on my mailing list. And I just keep you updated to workshops that I host and other fabulous information about the weekly astrology. So my email will be in the description. So
yep,
thanks.
It is. Yeah. And I send emails out every new moon and full moon. I am not every week. That's too much work for me.
Mine are not long, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So sharing just different energetics and different insights and a little bit about the moon cycles. But this is a great resource for everyone, whether Madelaine or me, both of us coming here to the cosmic chat. Lots of goodies. So thank you again. Thank you, Madelaine. Thank all of you
and doing this and organizing. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you all for joining us. Amalia and Madelaine signing off. We'll see you here again in 2 weeks. We'll be back at our regular time at 3 p.m.
Aries, full new moon Aries.
That's right. All right, everyone.
Sorry.
See you soon. Bye for now.
Sorry if I interrupt you.